Whew, good morning, everybody. Wow, seemed like a lot of prep to get up here this morning. Wow, So, uh, just want to check in about the neti pot. I'm still talking about it. I know, we're going to commercial right away. Anybody start using the neti pot like since the last time we talked? Oops, somebody's ring is going off. You might want to shut your phone. Um, Yeah, so the pollen is starting to come down thanks to the rain and the wind we've had with that. But the neti pot is a way to kind of refresh the little cilia in your nostrils. The cilia are what's responsible for trapping pollen particles and all kinds of little stuff, particulate that's in the air, so that when you breathe in, it gets trapped in your nose and it doesn't get into your lungs. When the pollen's really high, like it has been, what happens is your cilia get overwhelmed, right? They've collected all this pollen, and then they can't collect anymore. So as you're breathing in, you're getting pollen into your lungs, you're getting stuffy. It's sort of this cycle that perpetuates. So just by doing some nasal rinsing, do you need those off? Do you need those off? Okay. Hold on one second. I'll keep talking. So by doing the rinsing, if you can do it first thing in the morning or, whoops, there's that ring again, or last thing at night, that's helpful for your breathing. And yoga, the big part of yoga is the breathing, right? So mindful moving, checking in with our breath. I've talked a lot about how breathing is sort of that link. We talk about the mind-body connection, right? That mind-body connection. The breath is the link. The breath is the only function in your body that's both automatic and that you have control over. There's no other function in your body that operates like that. Your heart beats the way it beats. You can't change that. Your blood circulates, your lymphatic system circulates. You can't change your mind and change your perspective about it and make an immediate change like you can with your breath. So, final thought on breath. Without it, there isn't anything else. Right? So it's really important. It's really important. Okay, so let's start with a little breathing here. So if you want to sit right up close, we got one right down front. It's right down front. Yay! All right, you win.
Because my cat had precious face. When I was working, every morning he was on the bathroom counter to put my makeup on. So one morning I brushed his face. So now I had to brush his face every morning.
Oh. Well, tell that kitty to wake up a little earlier, I think. At least on Fridays. All right. So have your feet underneath your knees. And then notice where your shoulders are. Are they forward? Are you kind of sitting like this? Can you bring your shoulders so that they're right over your hips? And relax your shoulder tops down away from your ears a little bit. And then notice if your jaw is tight. Are your teeth clenched together? Is your tongue plastered to the roof of your mouth? Can you just kind of let that go? Let your tongue be relaxed. You can let your teeth come apart. Even if you let your lips part a little bit, that's okay, because everybody's facing this way. Nobody can see you. And then if it's comfortable, close your eyes. If you'd rather not close your eyes, just drop your gaze down at the floor. And that just sort of brings your focus, your intention back into your own body as opposed to kind of the visual stimulus that's happening outside yourself. Notice where your body is tense. So any place you're holding tension. And see if you can consciously release that tension in your body. And now check in with your breathing. Are you able to breathe in and out through your nose? If that's not possible this morning, try to breathe in through your nose, again, filtering through those little cilia in your nostrils. Breathing in through your nose, you can breathe out through pursed lips, like you're blowing out a candle. That has the effect of getting the carbon dioxide out of your lungs a little more efficiently than nostril exhalations. And notice if the air is even between the left and right nostrils. Notice the temperature. Is the air warmer or cooler as you breathe in? Warmer or cooler as you breathe out? Is your breath shallow or deep? Is it fast or slow? And see if you can begin to lengthen your breaths. And this morning we're going to add a mental count to the breathing. So as you breathe in, see if you can slowly count to 4. So it's like 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi, 4 Mississippi. So it's a long, slow count of 4. And this may take several breaths. When you feel you've got that inhale to the count of 4, then add that same count to your exhale. So you're inhaling to a count of 4 and you're exhaling to a count of 4. Inhaling to a count of 4 and exhaling to a count of 4. And notice if your thoughts are trying to pull you away from your breath. The thoughts are often of something in the past or the future. And the mind has a hard time staying in the present moment. So this is where counting the breath, counting for the breath, can be a helpful way to anchor your mind so that it doesn't run away with your thoughts. Breathing into 4 and breathing out to 4. And take in one more full deep breath, and as you exhale, let that breath go with a sigh. And then resume your natural breath. So the air is moving in and out, just in a way that's normal for you. Let your eyes gently open or lift your gaze from the floor. All right. We're going to start movement this morning with breath. So sweep your arms out to the sides as you breathe in. And sweep them out to the sides as you breathe out. So again, breathing in, nice slow, deep breaths. Lift and lengthen through your spine, lift and lengthen through the sides of your body. Let your arms get nice and long. Now, if your arms don't go right up overhead, that's okay. Just bring your arms to whatever position is okay for your shoulders or your back or your neck. Just nice, slow, deep breaths. Now, if it's comfortable for you this morning, on your exhalations, you can hinge forward from your hips and let your fingertips come down toward the floor, and then press into your feet and come all the way up and all the way forward. Try not to round through your back. So you want to keep your back nice and flat, like you're diving, right? And if coming forward doesn't work for you, you can always just stay in that upright position. Just doing the arms. Great. 2 more times, either bending forward and sweeping down toward the floor or staying upright. Good. And the next time that your arms are up overhead, we're going to pause here. Don't pause your breath, though. Keep breathing in and out. Bring your arms out into like a wide V. Breathing in and breathing out. Okay, so now with our exhalations, we're going to do a little twist. So breathe in and lengthen. And as you breathe out, twist to the right. Bring your left hand forward and your right hand back. Breathe in and come all the way up and come back through center. Breathe out and we'll go to the left. So let your arm, one come down in front and one come down behind. Again, breathing in and breathing out. Nice slow breaths. We've got the back of the chair that kind of prevents the arm from going directly behind, but just do the best you can. Keep your spine up nice and tall, so try not to lean into one side or bend as you're doing this. And again, if you've got some issues with your shoulder or your neck or your back and it makes it impossible for you to do this little twist, you can always stay straight and breathe in, breathe out, right? So one more time on each side, whatever's possible for you. Good. Last one. Arms come up. Let's hold in that wide V as we breathe in and out, breathe in and out, breathe in and out. And let your arms float all the way down. Let your hands rest on your lap. Roll your shoulders forward, up, back, and down a few times. And then roll the other way. Good. Let's do a little bit of work for the wrists. So take your hands up and we're going to circle at the wrists. Good. And then we're going to extend the arms out to the sides. We're going to bend the elbows and tap the shoulders. So we're working all the joints. We're doing it in a little different fashion. Sometimes it's nice to start at the fingers and work your way up, and sometimes it's nice to just explore in a little different way. Keep breathing in and out. The next time your hands are on your shoulders, you're going to pause here. Good. And then we're going to extend just the left and then just the right. And left and right. And breathing in and breathing out. Now don't inhale and exhale more quickly because you're moving your arms. Try to keep your body upright so we're not bending to the side. We're just working these elbows and we're working these upper arm muscles. And then from this out to the side movement, we're going to go up overhead. So take one arm up and then switch. Breathing in, breathing out. Now as you do this, pull the shoulder down and then lift the opposite shoulder up. Good. Breathing in and breathing out. So we're getting a little movement in here. Excellent. One more time, and then we're going to land with one hand on the shoulder, and we're going to take this other hand and extend it out, right? So now we're going to switch, pull back one side, and push forward with the opposite side. So pulling back and pushing forward. Notice if you're starting to lean forward, see if you can keep your body upright, so shoulders above the hips. Breathing in, breathing out. If you want to twist a little bit in your body, you can do that. If that doesn't work for you, just keep your body forward. That's okay. Couple more. Excellent. And then let your hands rest on your lap. Close your eyes. Take a breath in. Let it out with a sigh. Notice your back and shoulders, your elbows, your wrists and hands, and notice your heartbeat and your breathing rate. So moving in that fashion, we get a little bit of sort of aerobic activity. Aerobic activity is just movement that increases your respiratory rate and your heart rate a little bit. And let your eyes open. We're going to take that right elbow and circle it around. So make some big circles, big zeros on that right wall. Notice if you're going forward or backward. What is your tendency? What do you like to do, right? And then at some point when the elbow is down, you're going to switch direction. So we get to try our favorite way to go and our second favorite way to go. All right. And then let's take that elbow and make a figure 8. So make a nice big figure 8. Now with an 8, the circle on the top is smaller than the circle on the bottom. Can you make that circle on the bottom nice and fat and that circle on the top nice and small? Okay. Notice your breath. Are you holding it? And then when you're down at the bottom of your 8, we're going to switch direction. So go the other way. So we're erasing the 8. This should feel a little weird and your brain should be having a moment, right? Your brain is saying, what in the world is this? I think this is how we do it. Good. Keep breathing. All right, and let that go. Let's go right to the other side. Take that left elbow, circle, circle, or 0, 0, whatever you like, on that left wall. Good. Notice if you chose to go forward or backward on this side, and is it different than the other side, or is it the same as the other side? Next time your elbow's down, switch direction. And the reason we switch when the elbow is down is because your shoulder is in a much more stable position, so you're less likely to tweak something or injure something when your shoulder is kind of in close to your body. Okay, let's make some 8s. Right, so 8s with the elbow. Big circle on the bottom, small circle on the top, breathing in, breathing out. And that's the important piece. Next time your elbow is down toward the floor, reverse the 8. Go around the other way. Excellent. Okay, and then let that go. Let's roll the shoulders a couple of times. All right, so take a moment, just notice what your shoulders feel like now. So we've involved a little bit more of the chest muscles, a little bit more of the back muscles as we've done this kind of work. Take your arms forward like you're pressing, and as you press, round through your upper back. So you're kind of making a hump in your upper back, and then we're going to pull back and squeeze your shoulder blades together. So we're kind of pressing the collarbones forward a little bit, but don't lift your chin to do that. Keep your chin kind of tucked down. So let's breathe in and out as we press. Let the shoulder blades come off the back and pull back, and press and pull back. Good. And as you come forward, you can bring your chin to your chest if you'd like, or you can simply do the upper back, whatever feels okay. So breathing in, breathing out, we're getting a little movement in that upper back. Last week I talked a bit about your thoracic spine. You all remember that? And the shoulder blade area where that is, we don't get a lot of movement there. That gets stuck for many of us. Next time you pull back, we're going to hold here. Hold, 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 squeeze, and then release and relax that. Close your eyes for a moment. Taking a couple of breaths in and out. Notice. Your eyes open. I'm losing my mic here. Hang on one second. Okay, so we're going to do a little work for the legs. So we're going to start with the knees today. So sitting up nice and close to the front edge of your chair, have your hands right alongside your body with the palms resting on the seat, and we're just going to bend and extend the right leg. So just bending and extending, bringing the heel back and then forward. So your other foot, see if you can place it on the floor directly under your knee. So that gives you some support there. Okay, next time your knee is extended, we're going to hold here, drop the heel to the floor. So engaging the muscles here, that means the thigh muscles are nice and strong. We're going to keep those thigh muscles strong, engage your belly muscles a little bit, and we're just going to lift the heel and then lower the heel. Don't bend your knee. Keep your knee nice and straight the whole time. Good. Let's lift to a count of 3 and lower to a count of 3. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. This is much slower than we're used to going, right? 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. The slower you go, the more benefit to your muscles here. 1, 2, 3. The next time that you lift, I'm going to have you hold and breathe and keep breathing. And if you can, rotate your whole leg in and out. Not just your ankle, but way up here into your hip. Now, if this feels like way too much, if your leg starts to weigh like 120 pounds, lower that heel to the floor and do the rotations that way. Breathe in, breathe out. Notice if you're losing your posture. See if you can let your hands provide a little bit of support there. Keep going. Next time your toes are out to the little toe side, we're going to hold here just for a moment. And then let's see if we can lower down to a count of 3. So 1, 2, and 3. Good. Bend that knee. Give the leg a little bit of a massage here. Okay. And we're going to go right to the other side. So we're starting with knees and hips this morning. We'll get to the toes at some point. So having your hands right alongside your hips, sitting up close to the front edge of your chair, we're going to bend and extend this knee. Good. So if this is too much, I didn't say this on the other side, but always you can just tap. If it just feels like this leg is not able to stay lifted, elevated the whole time, that's okay. Try not to kick too fast. So you want to go nice and slow. That engages these muscles a little bit more. And the next time that you straighten your knee, we're going to hold there, and then we're going to slowly lower down. Now keep these muscles strong. That means the knee stays straight, okay? So no bent knee here. Holding on to the chair a little bit here, lengthening through the spine, engaging those abdominal muscles. We're going to lift 2, 3, and lower 2, 3. And lift 2, 3, and breathe 2, 3. So very slow movements and easy breath, right? So the breath, when I say easy breath, I mean it's going in and out without a lot of hesitation. You're not holding your breath. There's not like a little hitch in your breath. The next time that you lift, I'm going to ask you to hold, really squeeze these thigh muscles a lot, and we're going to rotate the whole leg in and out, or out and in, whichever way you decide to start. So the movement happens way up here in the hip, as well as a little bit in the knee and a little bit in the ankle. If this is too much at any time, lower the heel to the floor and simply do your rotations that way. Let's do this just 2 more times, in and out. And when you're out to the little toe side, you're going to hold there. Keep breathing. We got a little more work for those kind of inner quadriceps muscle there, and then we're going to slowly lower down. Good. Bend that knee. Give that leg a little bit of a massage. Excellent. We're doing okay? All right. So scoot over to the right side of your chair just a little bit. And then imagine on this right side you've got a little wall on the outside of your leg. And we'll start with like a 6 or 7 inch wall. And we're going to keep the torso upright, keep the breath smooth and steady. We're just going to lift that right leg up 6 or 7 inches, go out to the side, and then place it down. And then we're going to lift and come up and over and back. So as you're doing this, notice if you're leaning your body or if you're quickly lifting up your leg, kind of building some momentum to get that to happen. Can you go a little more slowly and a little more methodically? Now, if you're having trouble keeping upright, just have your hands on your chair. That's just a reminder to your spine of what's possible. Good. Okay, pause when your foot is down next to the other one. And now we're going to take that 6 inch wall, we're going to ratchet it up about, I don't know, say another 6 inches. No, okay. So some people are saying no, that's okay. Keep your 6 inch wall if that's what you want. But if you can, go up to like 12 inches, right? See if you can really lift that leg way up. Go up and over. Okay. And if you're like a type A person and you want to go to like 18 or 20 inches, go for it. I'm going to stick with 12 because that feels okay for me this morning. Some people are going to stick with 6, and that's okay too. Okay, couple more. Ooh-wee, good. Let's finish with the foot out to the side. Good. Okay, so now we're going to scoot over a little bit more to that right side, and we're going to walk the foot, the right foot, using the heel and the toes, walk it out behind you a little bit. Have your ankle under your knee. So in other words, you don't want your foot in like that, and you don't want it way out here. You want to have your ankle just about under your knee. Now you might notice that your body wants to go in that direction. See if you can keep your body facing forward, right? So there's a little bit of a challenge for this leg. Now we're going to engage the muscles here in the outer part of the hip and the outer part of the leg, and pull your knee toward the back wall, right? And then relax it. So I want you to kind of get that feeling. Pull the knee back there and relax it. Don't let the left knee go with it, right? So you don't want this, right? Left knee stays where it is, and we're just pulling that right knee back and then letting it come back to sort of a neutral position. Next time you pull that knee back, let's hold here. So we're really activating the muscles here in the outer part of the hip, the outer aspect of the leg as well. Press down into your left foot. Good. Take your left hand to the left side of your chair. Slide it back to like where the back of the chair and the seat meet, right? That's just, if you can get there, that's fine, but if you're just kind of in that direction, that's okay too. And take your right hand, place it on the outside of your left leg. Sit up nice and tall. Breathe in, breathe out, and gently twist to the left, keeping that right knee pulling toward the wall behind you. Oh, and breathing, right? And then unwind and relax everything for a moment. Breathe in, breathe out. And then we're going to pull the right knee toward the wall again. So really activating muscles here in the outer hip and outer leg. Taking the hands over to the left, lengthening the spine, and then twisting to the left, keeping the knee moving toward the wall behind you. Breathing in, breathing out. And unwind. Excellent. Let that knee come in. We're going to bring it out and in a couple of times just to relax those muscles a bit. Okay, and then let's take that leg and extend it out. So slide or shimmy or however you can get that leg out there. And bring it back as far as it'll go. All right? So in other words, if it's out like this and you're not feeling any kind of a stretch in the inner thigh, see if you can walk it back a little bit more so you get a little more of a stretch there. Okay, so press down into your left foot. Going to take your left hand to the chair. And then we're going to lean into that left side. Keep your right leg anchored and keep the muscles strong. So no bend in the knee, you guys. Nice, strong muscles there. And then come back, right? So it's just a little bit of a lean, and then we come back. Breathe in, breathe out. So this is about stretching that leg, stretching through the hip, maybe a little through the waist. And if it's comfortable for you, you might take your right arm up and then bring it down. And let's see if we can do this with breath. So maybe breathing in as you lean to the left and breathing out as you come back, or the opposite, if that's better for you to exhale when you come over to the left and inhale when you come back, that's fine. Nice, smooth, even breath. Great. One more time. Excellent. Okay. Let's give that knee a little bit of a bend. And walk your ankle underneath your knee. So we're sitting in kind of a, your knees are probably like at right angles to each other, right? You're still facing forward, so you're still facing me as best you can. You're going to take your right elbow and bring that down onto your right thigh. So now press a little more into your right foot. Inhale, take your left arm all the way up, and exhale, we're going to bring that arm down, right? So you're leaning into your right thigh. And we're just stretching the left side of the body a little bit, right? Breathing in, breathing out. So keep leaning into the right. So we're not coming up. We're staying leaning into that right side. Good. One more time. Looks good, everybody. Excellent. Okay. Now, instead of coming up, I'm going to have you roll forward, take your left hand to your left thigh, transfer your weight into your left hand, and then push up straight. Got that? So we're going to do that a couple of times. Taking the right elbow over to the thigh, right? So lean into that elbow. Take your left hand onto your left leg. We're going to roll forward, press your weight into your left hand, and then come all the way up. Let's do that a couple more times. So come over to the side, get the weight in that hand. Roll forward, press into your left hand, come up. Don't forget to breathe. All right. How about one more time? So this is just a nice little rotation for the spine, especially down where the hips are. All right. Excellent. Let's take that foot, walk it around. We're going to scoot over a little bit to the left now. So not way off the chair, feet are facing forward, you're facing me, and we're going to start with the wall on this side. So 6 inches on this side, sound good? So we're going to lift that foot up about 6 inches, very slowly bring it out and down. Try not to lean to the right when you're doing this. It's a lot harder, right? So if I lean to the right, I can get that leg way up. And try not to sit on one cheek, right? So that's kind of cheating too. So you want to have both cheeks on the chair. You're just kind of over to the side a little bit. And you're breathing. So the breath is smooth and even. It's round, right? So you're breathing in and breathing out. Great. And you can always have hands on the chair. Give yourself a little support. Next time your left foot is next to your right foot, let's pause here. So for those who want to bring the wall up to about 12 inches, go ahead and do that. If you want to go higher, do that. If you want to stay at 6 inches, stay at 6 inches. So remember, it's all about lifting through the leg and the hips, not about leaning your body. So we're going to lift up high, go up and over that wall and down, right? Breathing in, breathing out. The slower you go, the more beneficial this is for your hip and your thigh. The harder it is too, right? So you might notice that in your breath. It might be a little harder to take those nice smooth breaths, right? Good. Keep breathing. Good. 48. 49. Okay, 50. Done. Great. Scoot over to the left side so that left cheek is a little bit off the chair. And then take that left foot out to the side. Get your ankle under your knee. So you don't want to have your foot way out here. You don't want to have it way in here. Just about under the knee. You're still facing forward. So our bodies want to go in this direction because our inner thighs typically are tight. So when we bring this leg out, it wants to pull everything in the pelvis in the same direction. So the best way to get flexibility through your pelvis and your thigh is for you to keep your body facing this way and your knee to be out that way. Now engage the muscles out here in the outer part of the hip and the outer part of the thigh and pull that knee toward the back wall. And then relax. And pull the knee and relax. So your other left foot, which would be your right foot, that's flat on the floor. And we're just engaging these muscles. Now, if you have kind of sleepy glutes, if you don't use them very much, you might feel like a little crampiness there. You might feel a little tightness in there. Just keep breathing through this and try not to engage quite so much. If it feels like you're like right on the edge of a cramp, just don't pull the knee toward the wall quite so hard. Next time you do this, you're going to pull that knee toward the wall. You're going to hold here. Keep breathing. So again, you're still facing me. We're going to take this right hand to the chair, left hand to the outside of the right thigh. Lengthen your spine. So you never want to twist. Never want to twist like this. That's a recipe for that's a visit to the chiropractor. You want to have your spine nice and tall, and then twist out to the right as you keep pulling your left knee toward the wall behind you. Breathe in, breathe out. So again, nice round, smooth breath. And then unwind and relax that leg a little bit. So just kind of letting everything go back to its neutral position. Okay, so take that knee, pull it toward the wall behind you. We're going to put the hands over to the right, lengthen through the spine, then come into this nice twist. Excuse me. Breathe in, breathe out. Great, and then slowly unwind, and just because we'll do it one more time, okay? So pulling the knee toward the wall behind you, so you're really activating those muscles on the outer part of the hip, and then twisting ever so gently to the right, breathing in, breathing out, and release and relax. Great. Let's lengthen that left leg. Have your toes pointed if you can. So your left foot and your right foot are kind of at a 90-degree angle from one another. Toes are reaching toward the floor. They might be on the floor for some people. They might just be going in that direction. Take your right hand to the chair on the right side, and then we're going to lean into that right side a little bit. Keep this leg straight now. So if this knee bends, you want to activate those thigh muscles. So I haven't talked about quadriceps muscles for a while, but the muscles in your upper thigh, in your upper leg, in your thigh, these are the muscles, I think they're the muscles of mobility, right? Yes, thank you. So if you want to raise your arm up, you can certainly do that. So if those muscles are weak, you have a hard time doing basic functions like getting up and down from a chair, getting in and out of your car, using the toilet, anything that requires you to bend your knee, going up and down stairs. Did I say that already? I might have. So you want to keep these muscles strong for that reason. One more time. Excellent. Excellent. Okay, and then relax this leg, and we're going to pull that heel in a little bit so that you have your ankle underneath your knee. Again, you're facing forward, right? Your knee is out to the side here. Pull it toward the back wall just a little bit, not like really strong, but just a little bit so that it's not just totally relaxed. We're going to take the left elbow down onto that left thigh. And then breathing in and out, we're just going to raise the right arm a little bit and then bring it back down. So we're staying in that leaned over position. This is just about moving that right arm. If your arm doesn't go up overhead, you can come forward with your arm. Or you can not raise your arm at all. So breathe in, breathe out. Just do the best you can. Good. One more time up and down. Great. Now instead of coming up straight from here, we're going to take the right hand to the right thigh. We're going to kind of roll forward, bring your weight into your right hand, press yourself all the way up. Right? So when you're in this leaned position and you're a little twisted, if you try to come up, that's a lot of, you're demanding a lot of the lower part of your spine. So it's safer and easier to come over into this leaned position. Think about any time you're like cleaning or doing something where you're in kind of an odd position. Taking the other hand to this thigh, bringing your torso straight and then pushing up. You have more strength that way and less vulnerability. So breathe in, breathe out, put all the weight in that left elbow first, and then we're going to rotate forward, pressing into the hand and up. One more time, you guys. So this is like a little bit of a circle, right? Coming all the way up. Excellent. Okay, so now we're going to walk that back. Sitting up nice and tall. Let your hands rest on your thighs. Close your eyes. Breathe in, breathe out. Notice your hips, your knees, your back. We did a little bit of ankle work, but not a whole lot. Take a breath in, let it out with a sigh, and let your eyes open. Okay, so we're going to work on the ankle now, so extend the leg out. So these muscles, again, I just want to address the quadriceps muscle. So in the front of your thigh, you have 4 muscles that are responsible for your ability to get in and out of the chair, go up and down stairs. These muscles, when you keep them strong, the knee is straight, right? So when we're lifting the leg like this, the knee is straight. When we bend and extend, we're also working those muscles because part of their job is to extend your knee. Okay? So now we're going to keep that leg extended. We're going to lift the heel just a little bit off the floor and rotate at the ankle. So don't let your knee bend. All the movement is happening in your ankle. And reverse direction. If this gets to be too much, if your leg starts to feel too heavy, drop your heel to the floor, but see if you can keep these muscles nice and strong. Good. And then let's put that heel on the floor, slide the foot back, go right to the other side. So extending. So again, let's just test this out. So with the knee straight, we lift and lower, right? So we're engaging those quadriceps muscles nice and strong. When we bend and extend the knee, as we extend, we're strengthening the muscles. As we bend, we're stretching those quadriceps muscles. Anybody who's had knee replacement surgery or had knee surgery, this bending, that's the hardest part, because everything gets all tight and stiff. Okay, where are we going? I think we'll extend the leg. That sounds like a good idea, right? Heel on the floor, sitting up nice and tall. We're going to lift that heel just a tiny bit, keeping these muscles nice and strong. Circle the ankle. Oh, I heard some ankle music. That whole side of the room, right? You're like an orchestra over there. Wow. And reverse direction. Oh, okay. So Marion said everybody on that side's been doing their homework. Y'all have been not doing it. Okay. Heel comes down to the floor. Bend your knees. Okay. All right. So who's been doing the toe homework? Yay! Yeah, this is everybody's favorite, right? So toe independence. I'm such a fanatic about this because everything is affected by your toes. If your toes are not able to work independently, that affects your ankles, that affects your knees, that affects your hips, your low back, can affect your shoulders and your neck. It's a chain, all the way up the chain. So if your toes are not in good shape, then the rest of your body is going to have to compensate in some way. And we spend an inordinate amount of time working on our muscles that we can see, right? And we spend virtually no time on the feet. You think about all the activities most of the activities that we do to strengthen our bodies, we're wearing shoes. And when your feet are in shoes, that's forcing your toes and the 33 bones in each foot, that's forcing all of those bones and all of those muscles to work as one unit as opposed to being able to work separately like they're supposed to. So thinking about your feet having four corners, right? So you got the inside and outside corner of your heel, and then you got the little toe ball mound and the big toe ball mound on your foot. Those four corners, we're going to keep those on the floor. So this is about the toes, not about the rest of the foot quite yet. So from here, lift all your toes off the floor and spread them out nice and wide. And if you have your socks off, see if you can see a little daylight between your toes. And notice the toes that you can't see daylight between. Okay, and then just relax your toes and lower them down. Okay, can you feel the bottoms of your toes on the floor or inside your shoe or inside your sock? Can you feel the bottoms of your toes? You can feel the bottom of your big toes, right? So kind of go inside that feeling. What does it feel like? And then see if you can really feel the second toe and the bottom of the third toe and the bottom of the fourth toe and the bottom of the fifth toe. Now that fifth toe, sometimes it's tucked under a little bit, so you might be feeling the side of it, but just see if you can get a sense of the quality of the contact between the bottoms of your toes and the floor or the inside of your sock, right? You might be more aware of like the big toes, or there might be other toes that you're more aware of and some that are like not real sure about. So just notice what that's like. Take a breath in, let it out. Okay, so now we're going to do a little bit of toe exercises. So keeping all your little toes on the floor, we're going to raise the big toes up and lower them down. And lift and lower. Right? So you can certainly do this in shoes and socks. It's a little harder if you're in the shoes and socks because that is limiting how much you can raise and lower. Barefoot is best. So when you do this at home, definitely do this barefoot. Okay, and then relax the toes a little bit here. And we're going to keep the big toes on the floor and lift all the little toes. And then lower. And lift and lower. So don't let your knees move in and out, right? So no fair kind of bringing your knees together. Yeah, breathe in, breathe out. Notice if one foot works a little differently than the other. Maybe it's easier to lift one than the other. It's kind of weird, huh? Okay. And then relax that. All right, let's kind of lift up and wiggle the toes a little bit. All right, then four corners on the floor, right? Lift all the toes and spread them out nice and wide. And now keeping all the little toes lifted, we're going to press the big toes down into the floor and then lift and press and lift. And keep breathing. So you might find that it's a little more of a challenge. You might look down at your feet. Sometimes looking at your feet actually helps with that brain connection to what's happening in the feet. Notice if you're holding your breath, if you're gritting your teeth, if your fingers are trying to instruct your toes. And then lifting everything up, we're going to hold the big toes up and press all the little toes down. And lift everybody, and then press all the little toes down. Keep breathing. Notice again, one foot may work differently than the other foot. For most of us, I know I've talked about this before, most of us have one foot that's usually about a half a size bigger, from a quarter to a half a size bigger than the other one. And what typically happens is the larger foot gets jammed into a smaller shoe, a too small shoe. So that's the foot that you typically get hammer toe or bunion or something of that nature because it's in a shoe that doesn't quite fit. But if you went the other way, your foot would slide out of the other foot would slide out of the shoe. I really think they should sell shoes singly, right? Yeah, then we can pick. Okay, and relax all your toes. All right, so notice your toes, lift them up, wiggle them around a little bit. Ooh, that was good. All right, now we're going to lift up all the toes again. Spread them nice and wide so the four corners are on the floor. We're going to spread the toes wide. Press your big toes down and your baby toes down, but not the ones in the middle. You guys got to work on that one. And relax your toes a little bit. There you go. Lift all the toes again. So spread them out nice and wide. Press the big toes down and the baby toes down, but not those middle toes. Right? Now your hands are working overtime trying to instruct your feet, aren't they? Yep. Relax your toes a little bit. Yes, yes. Do this. Do this. Okay, lift everybody up. We'll do this one more time. Press the big toes down, the baby toes down, but not those middle toes. Good, and then relax all of that. Wiggle your toes a little bit. Okay. Who's been practicing that one at home? Are you making any progress? No. Okay. Keep practicing. What did they say? 10,000 hours to become an expert at something, right?
I don't think I have that time left.
She said, I don't think I have that kind of time left. Touché. All right. So now we're going to check in with the toes again. So lift them up, spread them out a little bit, and then place them down. Close your eyes. And I want you to feel into the bottoms of your toes. So feel the bottoms of your big toes. And your second toes. And your third toes. Fourth toes. Fifth toes. So just notice what it feels like. Notice the sensation of, or the contact rather, between your toes and the floor. Take a breath in, let it out with a sigh. So are you more aware of the bottoms of your toes? A little bit more aware of them. If you're barefoot, it can be a more profound kind of experience of that sensation in the bottoms of your toes. So again, when you think about moving your body, right? So we move our arms, and we're moving the bones by engaging the muscles, right? We're moving the limb through space by engaging the muscles, but we're also affecting circulation, right? We're affecting the nerves. So the nerves are getting a little stretch, which they like to have, and they're getting a little contraction, which they like to have. So everybody's happy there. Same thing in your feet. You've got muscles in your toes. They're teeny, but they're there. You got muscles in your toes. You got nerves in your toes. You got blood vessels in your toes. So when we do these little teeny, seemingly teeny exercises for the toes, you're increasing the blood flow in your toes. You're increasing the nerve tone in your toes, so you're able to feel more. And when you can feel more in your feet, you're going to be able to balance better. You're going to be able to judge where you're placing your foot, right? So if you're able to judge where you're placing your foot, your chances of falling are diminished because you know where your foot is in space, right? So if I step on the edge of something, that's going to register really quick if my foot is sensitive to it. If my foot has been in a shoe all the time and the whole thing works as one unit and there's no independence between the toes, I'm not going to sense that there's a terrain change from the inside of my foot to the outside of my foot, and I'm going to roll my ankle, or I'm going to fall, or do something of that nature. So again, I'm very passionate about feet because everything above is informed by the sensitivity, by the ability of your feet to sense the world around you, to sense the ground underneath you. All right, so let's give those little feet a rest. You guys know your homework. Let's go to the hands, and we'll do a little bit of work here. We haven't gotten the fingers going. So same thing in your fingers as in your toes, right? There's little muscles here. They're tiny muscles, bigger than your toes, but smaller than your biceps. So you got little muscles in there. You got blood vessels, you got nerves, you got ligaments, you got all this kind of good stuff in there. You got fluids that have to move in and out of your fingers. So if you never exercise your fingers, your nerve conduction there is different. Your circulation is different. Everything is different. Okay, let's pull back on the fingers a little bit. Breathing in, breathing out, and then pull back on the other fingers a little bit. Just going to go back and forth a bit here, right? So we're just stretching the palm. Yep, breathe in, breathe out. Try not to stretch your palm with your shoulders up like this. Relax them down a little bit. Good. Okay. And then let's circle the thumbs. So again, this seems really weird, right? Why, like an exercise class where we do thumb circles. Really? But there are doctors who specialize in hands and those who have a subspecialty in thumbs. That's how important your thumbs are. And then circle around the other way. So you have a doctor that goes to what, 75 years of training, right? Like it's a ton of training that they do, and they specialize in your hands. That's amazing. Absolutely amazing. Okay, now touch your thumbs to your last fingers and then extend. Keep all the other fingers extended. So we're just doing this little last finger. Good. Okay, and then go to your next finger. So for most of us, that's going to be the ring finger, unless you're missing one, right? So we're just doing like a little pinch here with the thumb and the finger, and keep everything as straight as you can, right? And notice your breath. Are you holding your breath a little bit? Okay, go to your next finger. For most of us, that's going to be the middle finger, right? So we're just kind of doing this little pinch. Breathe in, breathe out, and then go to your first finger. Good. Keep going, and then go to your second finger, and we'll go a little faster to your third finger, and then to your fourth, third, second, first, and let it go. Okay, now relax your shoulders down. Have your hands just relaxed in front of you, and we're going to take the right hand and bring your thumb and your first finger together, and your left hand, your thumb and your first finger together, right? So we're going to breathe in and out, and we're going to move the thumbs to the second fingers on each hand, and then to the third and to the fourth. Go to the third, the second, the first, the second, the third, the fourth, and breathe to the third, the second, and the first, and hold here on the first. Everybody got that? So we all landed back where we started, right? Left hand now. Take your thumb and your last finger together, right? So the thumb and the fourth finger, right? So right hand is thumb and first finger. Left hand is thumb and fourth finger, right? No. Because you know what we're doing. Yes, you know what we're doing. Okay, so now take your right thumb to your second finger and your left thumb to your third finger. Right thumb to your third finger, left thumb to your second finger. Right thumb to your fourth finger, left thumb to your first finger. So you should be the opposite of where you were, right? Got that? Okay, so right goes to third, left to second. Right to second, left to third, right to first, left to fourth. Got it? Okay, a little faster now. Right to second, left to third, right to third, left to second, right fourth, left first, right third, left second, right second, left third, right first, left fourth. Shake that all out, right? Your brain is like not sure what the heck we're doing now, right? Yeah. So this is a good thing to do. This gets the dexterity in your hands a little bit better. It also really gets your mind involved. So any movement you can do in your body that's a little weird, that's a little foreign, is a good thing. Even as simple as bringing your hands together, interlace your fingers. Notice what that feels like. Notice the sensation of your thumbs, for instance. The one on top and the one on the bottom. And where is the one on top making contact, and where is the one on the bottom making contact? And then the pads of your fingers, right? The little pads here where you do your fingerprint things. Notice what they're in contact with. Can you feel like the boniness of your hands? Can you feel the warmth of your skin, the softness of your skin? And now release your hands, and now interlace them the opposite way. Doesn't seem right. No, it doesn't seem right. So notice your thumbs. Notice the one on top and the one on the bottom. Feels like somebody else's hand, right? What about the pads of your fingers? Like, what are they touching now? You can still feel the boniness of your hands and the softness of your skin, but does it feel like your hand, or does it feel like somebody else's hand? Yeah. So go back to the original way. Ah. There's my hand, right? There's my hand. Yeah. Ah, notice what that feels like. There's a feeling, there's a sensation that's normal, that's familiar, that's comfortable. And switch one more time, just to that non-standard way. Yeah, and that's weird. That's just not normal, familiar, or comfortable. So you notice how your brain goes right to that, right? Your brain is analyzing. What is that? Why does that feel so different? Why does that feel so weird? And then just kind of let that go a little bit. So we can do that with lots of different things. Over the course of years of doing things in a particular way, we get accustomed to it. And so if we're forced, let's say, say you sprain your wrist, your dominant wrist, and you can't write, or you can't put your clothes on the regular way, you've got to use that left side. That's a lot harder, right? Or I say left, sorry. You got to use the non-dominant side. That's a lot harder if you haven't trained yourself to kind of use both in the same way. And yet it will happen in most of our lifetimes. We will have an injury to our dominant side where we're going to have to rely on that other side. So it's sometimes good to just kind of prepare and just get that balance already set up in your body. All right, so speaking of balance, let's conclude with a little bit of breathing and meditation. So if you want to sit comfortably, you can. If you want to sit right up to the front of your chair or sit into the back of your chair, you can do that. Wow, time got away from me. Let your feet rest underneath your knees. Let your hands rest somewhere on your lap. Now you can have your palms down or up. You can have your hands together or apart. So whatever position you put your hands in, I just want you to be really conscious of it. Close your eyes if they're not closed already. And be aware of the sensations in your hands. So whatever your hands are touching, if your palms are down, what are your hands touching? If your hands are together, what is the sensation of the hands being together? If your palms are up, what about the backs of your hands and what they're touching? And then notice your arms. Notice if your arm muscles are tight or if you can let them relax. And your arm muscles go from your hands all the way to your shoulders, by the way. So it could be anywhere between your fingers and your shoulders. And again, just sort of noticing what those muscles feel like as you breathe in and out, as you consciously bring that sensation of relaxation there. And then the tops of your shoulders. Let your shoulder tops relax and let them come down away from your ears a little bit. And bring your attention into your breath. Notice the way air is moving in and out of your body. Are you breathing in and out through your nostrils? If you're having some breathing difficulty, maybe breathe in through your nose and out through your lips like you're gently blowing out a candle. As you inhale and exhale, can you feel your body moving in response to the breath? You feel maybe your belly expand and contract, or your rib cage expand and contract. Maybe you feel your shoulders or your chest moving as you breathe in and breathe out. Notice how quickly or slowly your breath is moving. Can you take a few long, slow, deep breaths? And again, just going back to what we were talking about in the very beginning of class, that breath is the most important function in your body, because without it, none of the other functions are possible. Air moving in and out of your lungs, that is essential to life. As you breathe in and out, see if you can visualize or even get a sense of your lungs expanding and contracting. And then take your hands up to your chest. And as you breathe in and out, see if you can feel your hands rising and falling with every breath in and every breath out. And after your next inhalation, let your breath out with a sigh. Let's take a moment in gratitude. Maybe bring your hands together if that feels okay. In gratitude for your breath. It's that simple. And then if you'd like, you can just raise your eyes and maybe just greet these lovely faces, wonderful faces around the room. Great. Enjoy the rest of today. Enjoy this beautiful, beautiful weather out there. And I'll see you all next week.